is Sunday, December 11th. I am officially starting the vlog, although I'm sure you saw a lot of B-roll footage from the Renaissance Fair yesterday. That was the second time Robert and I had gone, and we had an amazing time. We took a lot more time with things. We stopped to get our hair braided. I stopped for a henna tattoo. We saw a little show, and we just had a wonderful time. I think we were actually there longer this time than we were the first time. It was just a great vibe, a great atmosphere, and I'm so glad that we went back. We will definitely be catching it a couple of times next year. It does run for 6 weeks, and so I'm so thankful we were able to fit in 2 weeks of this season. So today I've spent my Sunday basically the same way I've spent every Sunday. I filmed for the first several hours of the morning, and then I've just spent the rest of the afternoon frantically cleaning and cooking, and now I'm going to try to clean up the dinner mess and hopefully possibly edit. Remind me next year not to do Bookmas, y'all. This is insane and crazy. If I'm gonna do Bookmas, I need to start filming like 2 weeks in advance to give myself a little bit more of an advantage. It is very hard for me to sit here and film for hours. I just lose my motivation, I get tired, I lose my concentration. It starts getting very difficult for me to talk, and it's already difficult for me to talk. I trip over my words constantly. So I felt very prepared going into Bookmas in that I had all of the videos planned out, but I think I just need to start filming way in advance and not tell y'all, because that is behind the scenes movie magic. But in terms of reading updates, I have none. I read absolutely nothing yesterday because I basically woke up and we left for the Renn Fair, and then we were gone almost all day, and then I had everything else to catch up on when we got home. And then today, like I said, it's just been go. So I haven't really gotten any further into Book Lovers by Emily Henry, but I'm very much looking forward to doing so. I am enjoying that one immensely. I think I'm about 22% of the way through, so I definitely have a long way to go in that one, but it has just been a joy so far from start to where I am. I'm at the point in the book where our main character has actually run into Charlie Lastra in North Carolina, where she is vacation, and he is definitely the last person that she is expecting to see there. There was a scene, and if you read this book, you know, regarding Bigfoot erotica. Yes, you heard that correctly. Bigfoot erotica, that just had me cracking up. It was so good. I loved it. So this book is just a gem so far. I'm really hoping that it keeps it up. So far, just based on this first 22%, it is my favorite of the Emily Henry novels that I've read, and I'm having a really good time. So I plan on busting that out over the next couple of days. Again, trying to make more progress in reading because I am so slow this month with everything else going on, but we're gonna get there. Aside from that, there really isn't anything going on this week. It is just going to be a standard work week. Unfortunately, it's going to be a busy work week, which means a couple things. It means that there's likely not going to be very many vlog updates, and it also means that I'm not going to be able to edit at work as much as I would like to, and I would have to do more of it at home, which is a problem because I can only edit at night after everything else is done, and so I'll be like editing late into the night when I'm supposed to be going to bed. So it's fine. We're going to be okay. We're over halfway there at this point. So it's going to be fine. I just have to get through it and try to catch up on life during my winter break, which starts on December 22nd. But in the meantime, everything is driving me crazy, especially with regard to work. It is actually work that's like causing me the most stress right now, not Bookmas. So that's really the only update that I have for you. The update is that I have not read anything and that I'm not going to be able to update you much this week. How about that? I am a fantastic vlogger, y'all. A+ in the vlogging department. But I just wanted to come on here and say hi. I hope you are all doing very well. I have so appreciated the comments that I've been receiving on all of my Bookmas videos. And like, y'all, what is this? Like, that's been like that the whole time? Oh my gosh. The humiliation. Okay, you know what? I need to stop talking. I need to go get some things done. I will check in with you later. December 14th. It is a very rainy, gloomy day today, so if it starts pouring rain, I apologize. We're supposed to get some severe thunderstorms today. I finally finished book lovers, and I wanted to go ahead and come on here and give you an update. I really loved that book. I definitely think it is Emily Henry's strongest to date. Of course, she's coming out with a new release in 2023, so that could beat this one, but Book Lovers is definitely my favorite of hers so far. I think I'm settling on a 4.5. It's not quite 5. I didn't quite have the emotional connection to it, but it was definitely swoon-worthy in my opinion. By the end, I was a little bit teary because I just loved the story and I loved the characters so much. So as I believe I mentioned in my very first update clip, this is following Nora Stevens, and she is a big city New York cutthroat literary agent. She's willing to do anything for her client. She's very focused on work, and so people on the outside tend to see her as very cold and unfeeling, but there are actually reasons why she is the way that she is. A lot of it stems back from the unexpected death of their mother. I think it was like 10 years prior when Libby was still a teenager and Nora was in her early 20s, and Nora really had to become the caretaker for Libby, and so now that they are on their own, Nora basically wants to do everything that she can to be a success so that she can provide for herself and for Libby if Libby needs it. Libby at the time of this story is married. She has 2 children and she has one on the way, and she and Nora always had a very, very close relationship, but over the past few months they have kind of grown apart. I don't mean grown apart as in they are no longer close, but they are not as close as they once were. They definitely don't tell each other everything like they used to. And so Libby suggests that they go on like this month-long trip to Sunshine Falls, North Carolina. And she wants to go there because Sunshine Falls is the setting for this very, very popular book that Nora helped get published. And Libby has this whole checklist of everything that she wants her and Nora to experience while they're in Sunshine Falls. And so they take this trip together. Nora is really hoping that it's an opportunity for them to kind of get back to the way that they were. But once they get to Sunshine Falls, it is kind of clear that something else is going on with Libby, and it's something that Libby is not really willing to share with Nora. And so Nora is kind of spiraling for a lot of the trip just because she doesn't know what is going on with Libby, and she's a fixer and she wants to fix everything for Libby. She wants to protect Libby, but Libby is not telling her what is going on. So all of that is happening. Meanwhile, they're trying to satisfy all of the stuff on the checklist. And on top of that, when they get to Sunshine Falls, Nora bumps into Charlie Lastra. And I think it was like 2 years prior, Nora actually came to Charlie, who is an editor, and he was wanting Charlie's publishing company to publish that book that is now mega popular and set in Sunshine Falls and now like this huge hit and worldwide sensation. But the meeting that she had with Charlie was not very pleasant. Charlie totally trashed the book. They just like left on bad terms, and now she's bumping into him in Sunshine Falls. And it just kind of goes from there because obviously something more sparks between them. It was just so good. I feel like the relationship between Charlie and Nora, it was fast but slow burn at the same time. Like she's only in Sunshine Falls for a month, so obviously that is very fast for a relationship to develop. But at the same time, she and Charlie were having all of these close encounters. You could definitely feel the chemistry between them. The banter between them was 100% on point. It was so funny. And I still can't get that Bigfoot erotica stuff out of my head. Like Emily Henry is just a master of wit and sarcasm and banter. It was just so phenomenal. And so Nora and Charlie keep having like these close encounters. There's obviously something between them, but they both have their own reasons for not wanting to pursue anything. So just like things are kind of complicated for Nora, and she's got her own baggage, primarily stemming from her mother's death, Charlie has his own baggage as well because he moved back to Sunshine Falls to help his father, who had a series of strokes. He's not able to do as much as he wants to, and then their family owns this small little bookshop, which he's now helping to run because his mother can't do everything. His mother can't take care of his father and run the bookstore. So Charlie has been forced to move back to this hometown where he never wanted to live again. It's a place where he has never really felt like he belongs. He feels kind of suffocated there, and so he is dealing with his own issues. Nora is dealing with her own issues, and Nora and Charlie seem to really see each other for who they are. Like Charlie knows that Nora is just not this like cutthroat shark that everybody thinks her to be. I mean, she is as a literary agent, but as a person, she's a whole different story. And Nora sees the worth in Charlie. And so the bond and the connection that they formed was just absolutely beautiful. It was wonderful. And while this is a love story, it is definitely also a story about sisters and family relationships and all the complexities that go along with it. I really feel like there was equal focus on both throughout. So you're getting a lot of Charlie and Nora, but you're also getting a lot of Nora and Libby and what is going on between them as well. So there was definitely an equal mix of that, which I really appreciated. So it was a very multi-layered story. I felt like there was a lot of things going on, and it was just very, very well done. I really enjoyed it. And like I said, I'm giving it a 4.5. This satisfied the prompt to read a book that was on someone else's TBR. And speaking of prompts, I think I am going to tweak my TBR, and that is just primarily because of book availability. So I was going to read Nevermore to satisfy satisfy the prompt of reading a book with a name, place, or number in the title, but Nevermore is not on Scribd. It is on Audible, but I don't have any Audible credits left, and I don't really want to purchase more just to read Nevermore. And there's a several week wait at my library. I don't know if it would come in time for me to read it in December. So because of that, I think I'm going to move Daisy Darker, which was going to satisfy the prompt to read a mystery thriller. I think I'm going to move that to the other prompt since it does contain a name in the title. And then I think I'm going to just select a new mystery thriller to read instead. I also still haven't 100% decided on the book box pick that I want to read. I really want to read The Rewind. That is what my heart is telling me, but this is another situation where I either have to purchase Audible credits to listen to it when I need to listen to it or wait for my library, and I'm currently on a 5-week wait for that, and so something tells me that is not going to come in time for me to finish by the end of December. I also have a book that's coming in the special holiday edition of Authentic Books box, and that is available on Scribd. So I was thinking about going ahead and reading that, but it's just like, I really want to read The Rewind. So maybe I'll try to fit in that one from Authentic Books and then still try to read The Rewind, or maybe I'll just scrap both of them all together and just read like a book of the month pick that I know is already available. I don't know, I haven't decided, but I'm definitely going to have to do some wiggling just because of wait time. Aside from that, y'all, that is all I have in terms of update. It has been an extremely busy week. It's only going to be busier. I have a shoulder appointment today to have it looked at because I tweaked it at the gym, and so I want to just make sure that like nothing is horrifically wrong because it has been hurting for quite a while. So I have a doctor's appointment which I have to go to. I'm almost close to falling behind on editing for Bookmas. I think I only have 1 or 2 days of padding before I definitely need to get another video edited and uploaded, but work has been so insanely busy that I don't have as much time to edit. And that's when I do the bulk of my editing when I have the availability to do so. So it is just crazy. It is go. I am so looking forward to my winter break, which starts 1 week from tomorrow. But for now, I actually have to get to work. So I will check in with you later. Hey y'all, first I'm sorry that if you can hear my heater blasting. It is pretty cold outside today, and so since I'm sitting in my car, I just want to keep warm. I hope it's not too terribly loud. So I am less than 2 hours away from finishing Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney, and I'm just coming on here to say that I'm so flippin' bored. I'm so bored. Part of me is just tempted to DNF this book, but like I can't because I've come too far. I am so close to being done, and why not stick it out to finish it, right? So this is definitely supposed to be Alice Feeney's take on the "and then there were none" trope. This follows Daisy Darker and her family, and they are all reuniting on this tiny coastal island where Daisy's grandmother has always lived, and it's going to be her 80th birthday, and so everybody is going out there to celebrate. And it doesn't take long into the book, but shortly after midnight on the day of her birthday, Nana is dead, and it just kind of goes from there as they figure out that somebody is messing with them because there's like this morbid little poem that is written in chalk on the wall, and then whoever it is leaving these videotapes of home movies that were taken in the past. And so they're trying to figure out who is doing this, what is happening, because there really is only a very small group of people. So it's Daisy, it's her 2 sisters, it's Daisy's niece, and then their mom and dad. Plus there was Nana, who is now passed away. There is also a friend of the family, Connor, who kind of grew up with the girls and who was taken in by Nana. So there's not very many people involved in this story, and they have no idea who could possibly be doing this, who could possibly be killing members of their family one by one. I was very curious to see how Alice Feeney would take this trope. I enjoyed rock, paper, scissors enough that it made me want to continue with Daisy Darker, and I know that Sarah from Sarah's Nightstand loved the story, but I am bored out of my flippin' mind because really all this is Daisy lamenting about her fractured family. So from her perspective, you'll see memories from the past, and then they'll be watching these home movies that are being left from them by the killer. And so you'll also flash back to the past and what's actually happening in those films. I don't understand the point of this. I don't care about absolutely any of the characters because they're all pretty horrendous. It's almost like Alice Feeney is trying to make this a character-driven narrative, but she's not doing a very good job, because she's not telling you enough about the characters to actually really like or care about them. All you know is that for the most part, they're pretty not great human beings. And so why do I even want to follow them in this book? Also, can we just talk about Alice Feeney and her overuse of similes and metaphors? She will say multiple times throughout this book something like, love is like, life is like, and then continue on using metaphorical verbiage to describe the concept that she is talking about over and over and over again. It's like she couldn't find any other way to express herself and explain what she is trying to explain. And it is so obnoxious, obviously, because I am noticing it. It is so overdone in this story, and I don't understand it because it doesn't flow with the story, and it just feels so contrived, like she's really trying too hard to make a point about something. So not only am I not driving with her writing style, but I just don't like the story overall because it's literally just Daisy's recollection of the past with her family. It is not suspenseful or thrilling in any way. There will be a death sprinkled in here or there, but there's no edge of your seat feeling at all in this book. So I'm just bored. I really am bored. I think that this book might end up being a 2-star read for me, and I have hardly had any of those this year. A lot of them have just been 3 stars where they were okay but mediocre, and I'll probably forget them. And this I'll remember just because I'm not enjoying myself at all, which is really disappointing because I was expecting great things from this story, and I'm so frustrated that I wanted to come on here and share that even though I'm almost done. Like, I should have probably just waited until I was done, but I was like sitting here and angry about how much I'm not liking this book. And so I wanted to come on here and share a little rant with you. If you've read this book, you'll have to comment down below and let me know what you thought. Like, is it just me? Am I missing something about this? Because I am not enjoying myself. It feels very disconnected to me. So I'm absolutely not caring about anything that's happening or the characters. I don't care that they're dead. I'm not in suspense waiting for somebody else to die. None of that is happening in this book. It is just so poorly executed in my opinion. So, okay, now that the rant is out of the way, I feel like I'm capable of going into work, but I just had to get that off my chest. So I will check in with you when I actually finish Daisy Darker, but I don't anticipate my thoughts changing that much. I mean, if there's a wicked cool twist that she throws in, maybe that could boost it up, but I don't know if it's enough to make up for all the crap that she's having us slog through to get there. So anyway, I'm going to stop trashing this book and go inside. Bye, guys. Y'all, I'm actually in the process of filming some formal videos, but I did finish Daisy Darker last night and I wanted to come on here and talk about it because I have no idea what I just read, y'all. After I posted that rant update yesterday, for the most part, this book was continuing on in the same fashion. I was just so bored. I was looking forward to getting it over with. I just wanted it done. It felt like it was lasting absolutely forever. And I know that I already mentioned like the similes and the metaphors that she uses, but you know what she also overuses? These little nuggets of wisdom that she would post. She would be like, Nana would say, life is made up of choices, or like things like that, just like these little pearls of wisdom tucked in the book. So I have no idea what those were for or what we as the reader were supposed to get out of them. I don't know if Alice Feeney was trying to be like a motivational speaker or a self-help guru in another life and she's trying to incorporate that into the books. I don't know if she's trying to make that some deep, meaningful, philosophical messages in her books. I don't know. But they didn't work. And they were overused, just like the similes and the metaphors, and they were obnoxious. So obnoxious. So I was still super bored and frustrated with the writing style, and then we get to about the last hour of listening within the audiobook. And this is when it's getting to be a little bit more interesting because we find out the whodunit. And part of finding out the whodunit is the why. Now this leads to probably one of the biggest twists of the book. And the sad thing is that I actually predicted this twist very, very early on, probably within chapter 2 or 3, just with the introduction of a specific character in here and paying very close attention to a specific aspect of this character and our main narrator, Daisy Darker. I was able to predict the twist very, very easily. Now, what I didn't predict was how that twist was going to influence or correlate to the murders that were happening and the whodunit and the why they did it. I didn't know how that was all going to come together. And I admit that the very final twist of the story was really intriguing to me. I liked how Alice Feeney did that. So for the last hour or so of this story, I was really engaged and I liked how she tied it all together, even though I did predict that twist from the very beginning. And so I was considering making this a 3-star, but I just don't think I can do it because my overall reading experience for the majority of this book was not positive. It was quite frustrating and quite boring. I think I'm going to go with a 2.5, and I just don't think that Alice Feeney is going to be for me. Unfortunately, I just don't. This did not do it for me. I think Alice Feeney is really, really good at the plot twists. I really like the directions that she takes her stories, but the lead up to get there is not worth it. There's obviously very slow. Like I said, there's an overuse of literary devices that I just did not appreciate. I don't think that it flowed well. I don't think it worked very well. And I'm not really willing to slog through a book just to get to the very, very end to see what she has cooked up. I'm just not. So unfortunately, this did not work for me. This was a 2.5 stars. I believe I have selected a Heather Gutenkopf book as the next mystery thriller that I'm going to read. I can't remember the title. I think it was like before she was found or before they found her or something like that. I'm a little bit nervous about Heather Gutenkopf. I really enjoyed The Overnight Guest, but there were children involved in that, and there was actually at least one or two children's perspectives, and I think that's going to be the case in this book. And I typically don't like young narrators. That was one of the main problems that I had with Unspeakable Things by Jess Lurie. Like, I can't get it out of my head that I'm reading a book from like a 12-year-old or younger's perspective, and I think a lot of Heather Gutenkopf's books may have that. So I'm going to go ahead and read this and see what I think, and if I enjoy it, then I'll be less scared to read her books in the future. But I think that's going to be the mystery thriller that I read, and then still have to decide what I'm doing for the book box pick. I don't know, but then I will have satisfied all of my November TBR and then can possibly get back into reading some of the holiday reads. But that is it for the update, y'all. I've been filming for several hours now, and now I gotta go do the chores and all the things. I am staying home this weekend. I don't really know if I'm gonna be leaving my house because I just have so much that I need to catch up on and do. And yes, I could technically wait until my Christmas break, which is gonna be 10 days of me staying at home, but I don't really want to put these things off. So I'm gonna go try to get some things accomplished, and I will check back with you when I have some updates. Hey everyone, it is Tuesday morning and I'm about to head into work, but last night I got the special edition holiday box of the Authentic Books subscription service, and I wanted to go ahead and do a quick unboxing here in this vlog for you because the book that's inside is actually the book that I decided to go ahead and pick up to satisfy the prompt for my TBR game of reading a book box book. And since this isn't the official December box or anything, I didn't want to do like a full video unboxing. So we're just going to run through the box really quickly. If you missed it, I did post an official unboxing of Authentic Books subscription for November, and I'll go ahead and remember to link it up in the cards for you if you're interested, because I really enjoyed that box and I think I'm going to really enjoy this box in general. So let's get into it. Okay, so the first things I'm seeing are all related to the book, so we'll go ahead and get into those last. And then as I mentioned in that very first unboxing I did, every single box is going to be coming with an artisan candle made by Authentic Books, I'm pretty sure. So that is what we have right here. And it doesn't actually say what the candle is, so I'm gonna open it up really quick. Okay, the candle is Snow Day, which actually makes sense based on the book, and it says it smells like warm holiday bread. I'm not really a fan of foodie scents, but I'm gonna check it out. Okay, that's a very light scent. So far, what I'm noticing about these candles is that they are very lightly fragranced. Nothing is overpowering. This isn't my favorite, but I'm definitely getting some of the hints of what would be in holiday bread. All right, not bad. Next, it looks like I have the Tasty Treat, which is sparkle bark. It is peppermint bark with popping candies. I will not be eating this because not only do I not like peppermint bark, peppermint chocolate, mint chocolate in general, but it's not vegan. So I will probably pass this along to my husband, who is a big fan of mint and chocolate. Okay, and then we get the drink, and it is Spicewalla gingerbread hot chocolate. Ooh, let me see what it says on the back here. Cocoa powder, cane sugar, cocoa beans, cocoa butter, vanilla beans, natural flavor, cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, allspice, clove. Ooh, okay, that sounds really good. And my husband also really likes hot chocolate. He has been talking about it, so I might give this a try this weekend. This weekend is Christmas weekend, so what better time to do some nice hot chocolate? Okay, and then I have the first self-care item. It is Milk Hand Cream by Tony Moly. Also not something I will be using just because it's got milk right in the title. It's got milk in the ingredients. I am not a big body lotion, hand lotion type of person, so I'm happy to pass this one along. This is probably something I wouldn't even use even if it were vegan, so sadly this is not a product for me, but it does sound like really luxurious. I have heard great things about the Tony Moly brand. I do believe it is cruelty-free, which is super important to me, and if it's important to you too, this might be a good option for you if you're looking for some great hand cream, but like I said, I will be passing this along. I will, however, be using this lovely Snow Day bath bomb. I currently don't have any bath bombs. Smells lovely. Again, another Snow Day name, which again makes sense for the book, so I'm excited about this. Then I have this anti-aging facial mask. It says creamy aroma of holiday eggnog. I did check the ingredients, and so it does have egg in here, so again, I will not be using this, but it is super cute. I'm loving the theme that they've got going on, very holiday related. This just sadly is not one that I can use. Oh, and then they included this cute little ornament. Look, it says cozy up with a cute book. Oh, it is so adorable. Oh, that is from Emily Cromwell Designs. Okay, that is flippin' cute. I'm gonna go put that on my tree. Okay, and then we are getting into the book Kiss Her Once for Me by Allison Cochran, which is a sapphic Christmas romance. I'm actually going to be finishing this today, so I need to tell you a little bit more about it, but because I'm on a time crunch, it's going to have to wait until probably I get to work, but I did want to go ahead and do this unboxing while I had a few minutes this morning. Like I said, this is a sapphic Christmas romance, and it's pretty sweet so far. It's sitting at like a solid 3 stars. It's not blowing my mind or anything, but it's got great holiday vibes. And then the last few things are all related to the book. So we have the little tassel bookmark here. It says, I might kiss her once for me, just once to remember what it felt like. So that is adorable. I also have the signature card that can go into the book. I got this recipe card. This contains a book cocktail for gingerbread old fashioned. Hey, you know what? My husband loves old fashions. This might be something he would be willing to try. And then on the back, it is a recipe for cinnamon bread, which is definitely something I could make vegan. This is not a vegan recipe, but I could absolutely make it vegan. And then we have the little spoiler card here, which talks about everything that we got in the box. So overall, this was a very sweet holiday edition of this box. I did skip the January box. So in January, I will have an unboxing of the December box, which won't ship until the very last week of December, but I wasn't really interested in any of the books for January. In fact, one of them I already had, so I went ahead and skipped it, but there will be an unboxing probably in March of February. So there will be a couple of months of gap there, but we'll continue to keep an eye on the box. But for now, y'all, I am late. I have got to go ahead and head to work. I hope you enjoyed it. And like I said, I will check in just a few minutes to actually talk about Kiss Her Once for Me. Okay, y'all, so you remember when I was doing that unboxing yesterday and I was like, okay, I don't have time to update you right now on what I'm reading, but I'm going to do that as soon as I get to work. Well, obviously that didn't happen because it is now the next day and I have finished Kiss Her Once for Me. So I failed in that regard, but if you've been watching my vlogs for a while, you know that I am an inconsistent, terrible vlogger, so welcome to my channel. But yes, I did finish Kiss Her Once for Me by Alison Cochrane. As I believe I mentioned in that other clip, this is a sapphic romance. It follows our main character, Ellie, and about a year prior to the start of this novel, she had actually moved across the country for her dream job in animation, which was in Portland, Oregon, but it didn't work out. She ended up being let go and she's been struggling ever since. She now currently works as a barista. She can't seem to make ends meet, and on top of that, she has a horrific mother who never spends any time with her, never comes to see her, and is constantly hitting Ellie up for money. So Ellie has just been feeling like a failure, just feeling like she's very much stuck in life. And on top of all that, she's still trying to get over a relationship that could have been, that started on Christmas Eve of the following year when she was in Powell's bookstore, and she ends up by chance having this really lovely meet cute with a girl, and they have this really intense day. They have chemistry and a connection, and they have a really great day together, but something ends up happening that makes Ellie think that it's not going to last, and so she kind of takes off, thinking that Jack doesn't care, doesn't want this relationship, and she's been kind of pining for Jack ever since. Jack, by the way, is the girl that she met at Powell's. So there's a lot that's just really not going right for Ellie at the start of the story. But then Andrew, who is the landlord that owns the coffee shop where Ellie works, he makes her a deal. He says, if you marry me, I will give you $200,000. And the reason is because Andrew's grandfather has just passed away and he is set to inherit $2 million, but before he can, he has to get married. And Ellie desperately needs the money, and so she agrees. And now she has to go spend like 10 days up at this cabin in the mountains for Christmas holidays. What she doesn't know is that Jack is actually Andrew's sister. So naturally, when Jack shows up at this family gathering, Ellie realizes who she is, Jack realizes who Ellie is, and then it kind of goes from there. Overall, I thought that this was very cute. I really enjoyed the relationship between Ellie and Jack. I liked Jack as a character overall. She was very loud and unapologetically her. I just really appreciated their whole dynamic. I will say that the fake marriage trope seemed very, very unnecessary. It was literally just a plot device for Alison Cochrane to make what she wanted to happen, even though it was the whole catalyst for Ellie to be there with Andrew's family and to see Jack again. It was also what was keeping her and Jack apart, and she couldn't really say anything as well. But other than that, Ellie and Andrew didn't really spend any time together. It was almost quite comically obvious that they weren't in love with each other and that there was some underlying reason why they were getting married. So it really wasn't all that believable, and it was just kind of there to the side. You know what I mean? It was just kind of there as a complication for Jack and Ellie. So, you know, it is what it is. But overall, I thought that it was very cute. It was very sweet. I haven't read very many sapphic romances, and I thought that this was well done. I very much felt the chemistry and the connection between the two characters. Ellie definitely has a lot of baggage that she's working through based on how she grew up and the kind of parents that she has. She has this very toxic view of failure in that she basically always assumes that something is going to fail right from the beginning, and so she will either not try, or if she does fail, she won't try again. So like after she lost her animation job, she hasn't even like really tried to pursue it any further. She does like draw cartoons on this web space, which really is therapeutic for her, but that's basically all that she's doing with her art. There are a lot of things that Ellie is trying to overcome, and a lot of these things influence how she approaches her relationship with Jack and basically how she approaches life in general. And then of course Jack is dealing with her own family issues and past relationship issues and things of that nature, and it was just lovely to see them kind of work it all out and come together. I think I'm gonna go ahead and settle on a 3.5 stars. This didn't blow me out of the water. It's not like a new favorite romance or anything, but I definitely thought it was sweet and touching. I'm definitely glad that I picked up the holiday edition of the authentic book box, and this satisfied the prompt to read a book box selection for my TBR game. So with that, I actually only now have one more TBR prompt to satisfy, and that is to read a mystery thriller, and I believe that I'm going to be reading Before She Was Found by Heather Gutenkopf. I started that on my way to work this morning. I have only listened to about an hour of it on the audiobooks. I don't really have a solid idea of what it's going to be about, so I will give you more of an update when I actually have that information, but I did want to come on here and update you on this since I had actually finished it. All right, y'all, back to work for me. It is actually the very final day before our winter break, so I have some things to get done so that I could go ahead and spend the next 10 days just enjoying my holiday break. So I will probably be on here one more time to close out this vlog so I could get it edited and uploaded in time for the weekend. Check back later. Hello lovelies, it is Thursday, December 22nd, and I'm here to go ahead and do the very final update for this vlog. After I finished Kiss Her Once for Me, I decided to go ahead and pick up Before She Was Found by Heather Gutenkopf. This is going to satisfy the very final prompt for my November TBR to read a mystery thriller. I've only ever read one Heather Gutenkopf before. It was The Overnight Guest. I actually talked about it more in that video I did about my favorite wintry isolation thrillers. Sorry if you see my camera rocking. Archie is like rubbing against my ring light here, which is where you are stationed. So I actually really liked The Overnight Guest by Heather Gutenkopf. It was quite a pleasant surprise, and I loved that it had the wintry isolation vibes that I really enjoy so much, and so I definitely wanted to go ahead and read more from her. The thing that really makes me hesitant about Heather Gutenkopf is just because I know that she features children heavily in her stories, or at least in the ones that I've read the synopsis for, and that is definitely the case in Before She Was Found. So in Before She Was Found, this is about three 12-year-old girls. They are all having a sleepover together, or at least they're supposed to be having a sleepover together. But then by the end of the night, one of the girls is brutally beaten and stabbed on the railroad tracks. One is found with her covered in blood, and one is nowhere to be found. And in typical Heather Gutenkopf fashion, or at least what I think is typical Heather Gutenkopf fashion, because I've only read one other book by her, this is told from multiple perspectives over different timelines. So you're definitely seeing the perspective of the mother of one of the girls. You're seeing the perspective of the grandfather of one of the girls. You're getting snippets from one of the girls themselves, like in the events leading up to the crime. And then you're getting a perspective of a doctor several months future. So there are definitely a lot of interconnecting parts here that you're following as well. On its own, the plot could be seen as very interesting. However, I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong. But just based off of what I've read, I'm fairly certain that this book is based on an actual true crime that happened, where there were three girls and two of them decided to like brutally stab their best friend because Slender Man told them to. I think this was like the Slender Man murders or something like that. That's an actual thing that really happened. And the fact that it's based on that crime doesn't bother me. It's just that I'm not particularly invested or interested in that crime. I really don't like stories that involve children so heavily or are told from the perspectives of children. I hate books that feature the mean girl trope and stereotypes and things like that. I just really don't like it, and I don't like books that involve creepy or untrustworthy kids. None of that stuff is my vibe. And so here in this situation, even though you are getting a lot of adult perspectives, which I prefer, like I'm glad that a lot of the perspectives in this book are told from the adult of the story, you're still focused heavily on like 12-year-old girls and the drama that happens in their life and the terrible things that they can do to each other. And I just don't love that aspect of it. But we're going to see how it goes, just because overall, I really like Heather Gutenkopf's writing. I like the way that she narrates a story. I like the way that she's able to take all of these different perspectives and tie them together. And I'm really interested to see how this turns out, because obviously, even if it is based on a true crime, doesn't mean it's going to end the same way as that did in real life or anything like that. I'm sure that she's got her own ideas on how it's going to come about. So we're going to see how much I enjoy it, but I really do like Heather Gutenkopf, and so I want to continue with her just because I like the way that she tells the story. That is my reading update. That is probably what I'm going to be reading for the next couple of days. Because I'm off work for winter break, I don't anticipate that I'm going to be doing a lot of reading for the next couple of days, just because I'm going to be focusing on getting this vlog edited and uploaded. I have some booktube videos I want to catch up on, and I have a couple of Netflix shows that I want to finish before the end of the year. I have met my Goodreads goal. I don't really have anything on the docket for the rest of the year. This is like the final book that I need to satisfy my December TBR. And so I'm just going to go ahead and complete Before She Was Found, and then I don't know what I will be reading for the rest of the year. I do really still want to read the Rewind if I can manage it. My next Audible credit comes out on the 28th of December, so I might try to fit it in like the last 3 days of the year if I possibly can. But that's really it. That's really the extent of my reading plans for the remainder of the year. And that is certainly it for this vlog. This vlog is scheduled to go up on Christmas Day, so if you celebrate, I hope that you are enjoying your time with friends and family and that you are getting everything on your wish list. And even if you don't, I still hope that you have an amazing day and that you are feeling safe and warm and blessed and loved. And if you don't celebrate, or if you celebrate something other than Christmas, I hope that this is still a magical Sunday and that my vlog has helped put a smile on your face. But alright y'all, that is it for this vlog. I will go ahead and see you in the next one in the new year 2023. Bye guys.